Um,
Exactly.
so the writing everything down in the second module, just kind of writing
Uh-huh.
it all down, start thinking in buckets. I really want to thank you for that because I I have a thought about what I want the world to know, but I've always worried that I won't remember enough to but I started writing in buckets and I have filled a third of this notebook in about
Oh
2 weeks.
my God. That's
Just one
fantastic.
and just the one line. And that was really helpful to just do it on one line.
With an epic migraine, no less.
Yeah, it really was epic. So thanks for that. And I'm starting to feel more confident about it. And then
Oh, good.
weirdly, I will send this to you because I can't remember it well enough now and I don't want to, take up everybody's time. But I ended up for a podcast that I do for my paper, I got invited to the Appalachian Writers Conference.
Oh, nice.
And the woman who is the founder teaches memoir. And she said, "Why don't you come to my memoir class?"
Yeah,
And I was
really.
like, "Yeah, why don't I? That would be great." She said a lot of the same things that you have said, but she gave some pointers that were so golden. So I thought I would share them, but I have to type them out for you guys.
Okay. We'll
One of
take
them,
them.
yeah, well, I'll tell you the one that was the most helpful. And it was especially helpful because of what I had already done as my second module. She said, think about the moments in your life where everything changed. Like you knew
Yes.
nothing was going to be the same again. And
Mhm.
she said, and plot them and then decide which one you're going to start with.
Module three.
Is it? I don't need to send it to you then.
I'm laughing because I don't think I said it as clearly as she has, but I haven't done the whole transcript yet. Yeah, but it's those moments that, the turning points. And sometimes, sometimes you know it in the moment, and other times you don't know it until after when you look back. But every so often you're in the moment and you're like, nothing's ever going to be the same again. You just know
Mhm.
it. And and usually it's not in a good way. Like it's like that sinking feeling when you just know the whole thing's gone. And yeah, so in module three, we build out a timeline. So yeah. So yeah,
Well,
cool.
I'm ahead of you then.
Most people are ready.
Well, I felt much more confident marrying the second and the third module, even though you didn't release the third module yet.
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah,
coming. Oh,
no, I
good.
have really, I have really
Oh,
started to feel like I can do this. This could
oh,
happen.
you absolutely can do this. You're probably, more qualified than most people. So yeah. I mean,
Well,
you know
I'm,
what
I
makes a good story.
yes, and I'm qualified as a writer. I
Mhm.
definitely have my credentials there, but uh, that doesn't matter if you don't really have confidence that you have a story worth telling.
Yeah, and that it's so funny because we're so used to certain things in our lives that we don't think are big deals. And then you casually mention it to somebody, they're like, "You did that? Oh my God." And you're like, "Well, yeah, you just do it." And, for us, I think because one, I think women are encultured to discount
Well,
their
that's
accomplishments, right?
yeah, that's actually a theme. I realized how many things I don't know how to do that I just go and get a job doing and then figure it out.
I don't understand people who don't do that. This is where I'm really a horrible person because, like,
You just made me think of something, so I'm writing it down. Sorry.
write it down, write it down. But I'm horrible because somebody say, well, how did you learn to do that? It's like, well, I Googled it and then I watched some YouTube videos and then when I couldn't get a certain thing done, I took it to the guys at the hardware store. It's right. So like you do as much as you can DIY, and then if you get a stopping point, you consult with somebody or I consulted with the guys at the hardware store. And I mean, I don't understand people that don't know how to figure it out. Like they can't figure out how to figure it out. And I think that's probably because of the way they were raised. I think a lot of
Either
people are
that
crippled. They're
or
crippled before they become adults.
I don't know, maybe. My life has been spent around doctors and lawyers because of what I write.
Right.
I mean, my background is psychiatry, and then ultimately it became antitrust because the two are related.
Really, yeah,
Um,
that's so close. Yeah.
but The first is doctors and the second is lawyers, and they're so hyper specialized
Yes.
that they're afraid to try anything else, and they wouldn't even have the time or maybe not even the interest.
Well, I think also when you're good at one thing, it's really hard when you're good at something to try something new, even especially if it's related, because we don't like the idea that we're not good at something immediately. And I'm always everyone says, "Oh, you just go and do things," and I'm thinking, you have no idea the mental gymnastics I have to go through to get my butt out and do something. And because you have to be okay with sucking at certain things. Um, I mean, when I wrote my first novel, actually, that hasn't been published yet, uh, but the second novel, that's the first novel, like I put a pen name on it because I'm like, I don't know if this is good or not. Right? You can't tell. And so I put it under a pen name and then I went with it because it's like, okay. And as my friends are reminding me, nobody knows who you are, Barbara, anyway. I'm like, oh yeah, I
Well,
forgot
I
I
mean,
wasn't famous.
this made me realize I'm more willing to put my name on things now. I'd rather nobody knew me before.
Is that funny? Yeah.
Well,
And
I changed. I changed a lot. That
yeah,
has a
but
lot to do with the story.
I think part of it, well, yeah, that's a transformation story, but part of it is you do gain in confidence the more you do. And I think another part of it is looking around and seeing how incompetent other people are. It's like, you know, I don't think I'm qualified to be Secretary of Transportation, but you know what? I do a better job than the guy who's in there now.
There was so when the first Trump administration was in office, I was still in Washington
Oh, wow.
and I had I was on Capitol Hill, so whatever, I was just always on the Hill. So I was in the Senate cafeteria for workers because the senators have their own dining room, but
Right.
the rest of the Senate workers have a cafeteria. So I was in the cafeteria and there was a guy behind me. I don't know which senator he worked for. I didn't recognize him, but the announcement had just gone out that the the black neurosurgeon, what was his name?
Oh, that guy.
But
The
you know
the who was
Ben
the Ben?
Ben
Yeah. Oh, Ben Carson.
Carson. So
Yeah.
he had just been announced as House as the HUD secretary, and the guy behind me looks at the guy behind him, and he says, "I have a house. I could do it." And we were all just cracking up, and it's just one of the more happy memories I have of being at the Senate.
And he probably would have done a better job. Because I don't see, and this is what I don't understand, because Ben Carson was a really good neurosurgeon.
Well, I was just going to say, it's funny. This goes back to the beginning of our conversation
Right.
with hospitalizing because a friend of mine who lived in my building, she was a neurosurgeon, and
Uh-huh.
she's a black woman. She's from Namibia, or no, sorry, she's from Ghana,
Uh-huh.
and um, she she studied with him, and
Uh-huh.
then she ended up going and doing something else. But she told me, because who knows why it came up in conversation, but she said to me, he's the dumbest, smartest man I've ever met. He
It's
can do what he does, but do not ask him to do anything else. She said he's a menace. He's so stupid. I was like,
yes.
great.
This is the thing, is he really is a menace. He's so stupid, but you need a brain surgeon, you call him. And
Isn't that
it's
weird?
uh well, is he maybe like he's on the spectrum or something? Well, we're all on the spectrum. It's the spectrum. But maybe that's like his one skill. Like, you ever see a girl that's really pretty and she's dumb as whatever, and you think, "Oh, I'm so glad you're pretty." Like you got something, you know? Like, I'm so glad, there's something that's going to save
Yeah,
your life.
I don't know that having that guy though be at the head of the housing department,
That
but whatever.
that
I
was
mean,
not a
none of
good
it,
place for him. No.
none of whatever. Our government is already collapsed. We're just waiting for everybody to realize it.
Thank you. I was just talking with a friend who said, we're seeing the collapse of the United States government, and I'm like, yeah, no kidding, it's gone. So, if I've got a spare room, uh, if you if you've got your passport, I tell everyone just update your passports if you don't
Mine
have
was
it yet.
actually updated just a year or so ago, so I'm good
Yeah.
there. All right. I'm sorry we
Okay.
bored Barbara.
No, that
I've
was.
got to, maybe I'll hang around for another 5 minutes or so because
How are you up to, Barbara?
Well, I have been working on this memoir concept you and I have talked about, the
Uh-huh.
turning point, and how that is folding into life right now. Because I leave on Tuesday.
Right?
I'm going to go see the girls and my son, who's singing at the code breaking side of my father. And I'm ending the trip in Belgium, trying to help somebody find genealogy information, actually.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But on that journey, I did get your second mod, and I got it this week, and I've been really slammed with other stuff, but very interested in digesting that information.
Ah, cool. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I know you, Barbara. Sorry. I thought you
Oh,
were on
I'm
the first
sorry.
call, but I don't know who you are. And you don't know who I am.
I thought the same. You live in Virginia, is that right?
Okay.
Kentucky.
Kentucky. Okay, but I heard something about Richmond, Virginia.
Yeah, it's Richmond,
Richmond.
Kentucky. But Richmond, Virginia obviously does exist. But we're Richmond, Kentucky.
Okay. So a side note, I work with the World War II generation. I'm closing out a 15-year nonprofit right now. But we've been honoring them and we dedicated monuments on state and national grounds in Oregon, August 10. So that was kind of the final dedication that we had. And we've got a fairly good anchor plan in place throughout the state that will remember the World War II generation indefinitely. So with that,
Wait,
I've been working with.
was that the generation that fought the fascists? I kind of faintly remembered
Yeah,
when the fascists were the bad guys.
yeah, no kidding.
Go
Yeah,
figure.
and I think, I've had a chance to talk to many of them, and they're very sad about where the country's been
I
led.
bet. Yeah, because I mean, my father fought, and my uncle died in Belgium, and it's like I could have sworn the fascists were the bad guys. Did I get confused? Yeah.
Yeah,
So, Barbara,
and
are you in Oregon or Washington State? I always forget.
right now I'm in Seattle, my place in Seattle.
Okay.
So, anyway, bringing this all together with Barbara to kind of create this memoir for my granddaughters. And hopefully, I'm going to take some of it with me, Barb, on this
Mhm.
trip because I'll have
Good.
plenty of flight time, plenty of Eurostar time, that kind of thing where I can sit and, kind of do the brain dump and, kind of
Good.
digest some of the information because it's a 14-week projection, right?
Right. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
really 16.
But it
I'm
does
I'm
fit
not quite sure what
into
the six what that last drop is. I think it's the marketing. I've got us up to the self-publishing.
for one more note on though the kind of the change in leadership. I have a 103-year-old veteran, Navy Wave air traffic control tower operator in Astoria. And when I talk to her, she's just so discouraged. She
Um,
lives, both her daughters are Trumpers, and she lives with one of them who has six children
Christian?
who have hard lives. It doesn't seem like they have successful lives. So this is what goes through her health, these kids,
Hmm.
on this emotional roller coaster. Maybe that's how she does survive.
Really keeps her
Resilience.
jumping. Yeah, there's an entire Christian sect where they wanted you to have as many children as possible. I talked to a lady who, oh, well, Kate last week. I talked to a lady, Kate. Um, He's not here this week. I mean, when she said that thing about her son having the nine kids and being very Christian, I knew exactly what was going on there. And that's the Christian army that they are training these kids to actually go out and fight, which is
And
just
Elon Musk
insanity.
too. Elon Musk is doing the same thing. That's why he just spreads his seed with all the women.
I
He
know.
wants to
It's like,
populate Mars with his kids.
good luck with that. I'd like to populate Mars with him. So now, yeah, it's a whole
Uh,
thing.
Whitney, is that your name? Whitney?
Yes. Yes.
back to that introduction. I knew a World War II veteran in the Kentucky, Richmond, Virginia world. His name was E. Bruce Heilman. Do you know that name?
What's the last
Very
name again?
very
What's the
active
last
politically.
what's the last
I,
name again?
Heilman, Heilman.
I know some Heilmans, but that doesn't ring a bell. I'm not an elderly person who's in politics or something.
yeah. If
Well,
you
he's
were a
gone
true
now, but
Kentucky woman, you'd say, now, Bruce Howman, now, is he of the such and such Howmans? Is that your mama? Is that your mama?
Well, honey, when anybody hears the name Moberly, then they know that's either going to be my Moberly's or that's maybe down the Moberly's over in Waco. But I'm not from, well, my
Which
granny,
church do you
Mama
go
Ursula.
to?
Oh, that's the weird thing. None of my family are church people.
I don't know how you survived in Kentucky.
Well, I mean, I do find myself a little discouraged by the fact that I have not been able to find any place that serves a good glass of
Oh,
wine. But
yeah,
don't forget, sweetie, I was born here.
I know.
Whitney, what are you writing about?
Um, it's a obviously it's a memoir. I survived a very, very, very bizarre childhood. And that seems like a lot of people say that about their lives and when they talk about whether or not they want to write a memoir. So I was a little nervous, like maybe I'm thinking I'm special and maybe it turns out I'm not special. But whenever I share things about my life, people are like, that's really weird. So, but the outcome is that I've come up with a very strange, to many people, perspective on just everything, on life, on what's
Mhm.
happened on Earth. Um, I
Well,
don't believe in I don't believe in anything that anybody else thinks is normal. But every now and then I try it and people are like, yeah, that's actually I could see how you got to that. That's really weird. But I
but it
just
makes its own sense.
it
And
does.
are
There's
you
a lot.
going go ahead.
No, I was just saying there's a logic to the reason why I think what I think.
Yeah.
Well, who's your audience for the book?
My audience is definitely my generation. So what are we called? We're Gen X. We're Gen X. So Gen
Yeah.
Xers who were taught the world is a certain way, and probably Gen Xers who or were of some means because I was born in Kentucky, but I grew up in Connecticut and I went to a very wealthy high school.
Uh-huh.
So my generation who were basically stuck in the middle of you this is the template you have to live your life through and this is the American dream and all of that, but then also had to raise children who were realizing that that is not true, none of that is true, all of this doesn't even
Thank
make any
you.
sense. So like now, so
Mhm.
like how do we handle this while we're also dealing with our very narcissistic, stuck up, asinine parents who are all boomer jackasses.
Right, I'm a boomer jackass.
So well, my parents were jackasses, so
I knew I was a jackass, so I didn't have kids. Like, like if
my
you're gonna be
parents
a
should
very
not have.
bad parent, don't do that.
Yeah, my parents definitely should not have had me. Um,
Glad they did
and
though.
they,
Are you going to offend anybody with this book? Your
am
I
I
parents
hope
or
what?
so.
anybody in the
Probably, but I mean, that's not my goal. I'm not actually, this is not, I don't feel revenge. I'm not interested in hurting anybody, but I'm also not interested in what has happened in my life, which is my family saying, that's private. That's private. That's not your business to tell. And it's like, well, actually it is because it's my life.
Right.
And what you said the other day, if you don't want me to tell the story and you look bad, then you shouldn't have been an asshole.
Yeah,
It's not my
exactly.
fault.
And I
But
have a friend that's a Gen Xer and she basically self-raised. And her parents weren't
yes.
they weren't malignant. They were just benignly neglectful. It's that thing. She's like, yeah, we Gen Xers all raised themselves. I mean, we're feral kids that had to figure stuff out. So probably the logic system that you've developed is because you saw one thing and you're like, that makes no sense whatsoever, and you reasoned
Hmm.
out what would be the logical way to do things. And I think that's interesting.
Well,
Like,
it's
I would love
definitely
that book already.
well, that's my audience. Thank you for that, Barbara.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at other, and it's probably going to be women, mostly in my generation. I mean, I did actually I wrote it all down. I forgot that I did that until just now. But yeah, so your question, who's my audience? Um, my people, my people. And then the other group that I think will end up, people who've ended up, especially in my generation, but other people too, who have been made to feel ashamed by the system. For
Mhm.
example, I fought for 4 years with Wells Fargo because they said I didn't do something that I had done. I had tried to pay off a mortgage and they said I didn't
Right.
do it. So I couldn't sell my house because I couldn't have the deed. I mean, I could go on and on and on, but I won't because it's just boring. And yet it was the most painful, it, tr you know,
They're wearing you down.
refractory situation I ever encountered. The only reason I finally got Wells Fargo to just stop fucking up
Uh-huh.
and get out of the way, and actually they ended up paying me, but that was because of a law that was passed for the fact that they were doing any of this, was because
Uh-huh.
I went to high school. I found out I had gone to high school with somebody in their C-suite.
Yeah. It's not
And
amazing.
if I'd not done that, I never would have gotten out of that situation. But I wasn't the one who created the situation. But
Right.
I, during all of that, felt ashamed that my finances were a mess, but it had nothing to do with me. But it
No,
ruined my life a good 5 fucking years. So people who have experienced things like that, I think they will relate to what I have to say.
I'm feeling it right now because I got screwed over on a loan that was supposed to come in like at 8.5, and the day of they said no, we're doing 11.5, and I'm like, well, this thing's not going to cash flow then, and and I couldn't back out, and blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, there's situations not of your making that you sit there and you feel like you've totally screwed up, and I think one of the things we're finding out now, because boomers were really sold. Um, that whole American dream. Like we just thought, go to school and you work hard and you and work smarter, not harder. And we just thought, you're going to be okay. You're going to make it. You're going to be able to afford things that
Yeah,
your
but
parents
I
avoided.
don't know. Are you a Gen X or are you a boomer? What year were you
I'm
born?
the tail end of the boomers. Apparently, we're Generation Jones. We're in the middle. It's like a
So you're
little sub.
64?
No,
You're 60.
67, but I'm like we're that tail end.
Well,
And
I'm 68 and
you're a
I think I'm
baby. How
yeah,
you're not
I'm only,
68? Did you say
no, no,
that?
I was born in 68.
Jesus Christ. I'm like, fuck, she looks good.
In 68. Um, so I wasn't sure if you were saying you were a boomer or so we're the same age essentially. But the reason why the boomers could,
I'm 10 years older than you.
so are you 67 or 57?
I'm
Which year were
67.
you born? Oh,
I
you're
was
67.
I was born
I
in
said you
68.
were
I'm
born.
67. Oh boy, are we dyslexic or what?
I understand now. Okay, so you are a boomer. Here's the reason why boomers could think that, because the world was catered to you.
Yes,
The world catered to you. The world doesn't cater to you anymore, and that's actually part. So Barbara
good bad.
Jensen will answer your question. The book is about. Um, I just think that we don't know the Earth's history, and I don't believe that the system that we operate is of this planet. I just don't, because I
Mhm.
observe nature and nature does not do any of the things that our systems insist that we do. Nature is not linear. Everything about everything we do on this planet is linear. It does not recreate itself. All of the systems that were placed on us were imposed. They were not organic. And when you find yourself constantly in situations where Wells Fargo can do what it did, and the tax system can do what it does, and it doesn't matter anymore. Having been on Capitol Hill, I walked away after a decade saying, I don't know who the hell's in charge. I really don't know who's in power. But
Right.
these folks are not in power. They're not in power. In fact, they're scared of what I don't know. But I saw that year after year after year, and it just kept getting weirder and weirder.
That's interesting.
I just don't believe our system is of this planet. I think that we were visited, but I don't think it was like alien. I don't know. I just really think that the all that really matters to me is two things. One, the approach to life that we are all made to think is real
Uh-huh.
is not real.
Right.
And that it is a type of consciousness. So it's a consciousness that I don't believe is of this planet. And it moves us to do certain things. That's the first thing. And the second thing is it doesn't matter what I think because whatever's gone before at this moment in time has collapsed. So we don't have any myths anymore. We don't have any systems that are actually rooted in a common story, like any of our previous myths were rooted in. So I can make up my own myths. And if it makes sense and gives me a sense of order and logic, then that works. And I think my peers get that.
Oh my gosh. And I'm just like, because my brain immediately went, Jesus, what a coaching angle. Make up your own myth and live it. I was like, Jesus, that's the book I would like to read. Though I think I actually have done that. So
But it's not like I just whipped a fantasy out of my ass.
no, no, no. It's this
It's
different
more
thing.
like, look, I've written a lot about it. I mean,
Uh-huh.
the past 7 years, I'm drawing a lot from what I wrote on my newsletter, which I founded after 30 years of covering psychiatry, mental health policy, et cetera, and corporate activity, and realizing that over 30 years, the trajectory of people who complained of depression, anxiety, or even committed suicide was like this. Well, guess what else it was like this? Corporate power. So I would notice that the more a Supreme Court legislation or some kind of policy gave corporations more power, individuals had more mental health problems
Yeah, that makes
because they were
sense.
losing agency, they were losing hope, they were losing access to resources, but they were gaining. The corporate people were gaining.
The
And I
corporate,
said,
yeah.
you know what? That's not human. That's anti-human. So what the hell is going on?
Ah, this is true. Yeah, there's a lot. I saw this Diary of a CEO, and after a while he realized he's just kind of doing clickbait, but he had this one guy on that said, we don't process reality in real time. So it's because there's so much input, we're filtering out 90% of it, and then there's like a 12-second lag while our brains kind of put shit together. I thought, well, that's interesting. But I think more than
But that's
that,
on purpose.
yeah,
That's on
it's a
purpose.
protection thing. It protects you.
No, no. I mean, given us all the shit we have to process, I don't watch TV. I'm totally disconnected
They're
because I came to
putting you
realize,
on overwhelm on purpose.
yeah, distracting
Yeah.
you, but also not just overwhelming you with prescriptions. You must do this. This is how you're supposed to be. This is how you're supposed to live your life. This is what's true. This is what's not true. And like, you don't know what everything in your head is
Mhm.
received. You are
Right.
acting according to a received template. How many people actually know what they think? Not many.
Yeah. They don't, they're getting input all the time. They don't, I watch people all the time here. They're sitting in one of the most beautiful places on earth and they're scrolling on their phones. They don't even lift their heads up. I mean, there's water, I mean, it's just beautiful. And they don't lift their heads up. They don't have any quiet in their lives. Like when I go
Yes,
for a walk,
exactly.
I mean, usually I get joined by my friend, but the days that I'm walking by myself and you're out there, you're walking in nature, there's very little traffic, there's very little going on, it's very quiet. Um, you get to actually think. And
Mhm.
I think if I lived in the States with all of that stuff going on, I wouldn't have a second to breathe. Yeah. And
That's the way I think it is here. That's why you
yeah,
do have to completely unplug.
yeah, you have to get it. And I used to unplug on Sundays. I would not turn on the computer and I would read the Sunday newspaper because it was so old school. I love newspapers. So yeah. Hi, Jen. How are you doing?
Hi, good,
You came in
thanks.
in the middle of
Sorry.
an existential thing, right?
I know. Yeah, no, it's
And I
awesome.
have to go. I'm sorry, Jen. I have to go. I said I was going to leave and I got to go write a story.
No worries. I'll
Okay.
just take it quick.
Have fun with that. Okay.
Nice talking with you, Barbara. Thank you for asking, Barbara J instead of Barbara G.
Barb G, Barb J.
Good luck.
Okay. Good luck. How are you doing, Jen?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm lucky. Right behind me is a
Oh,
well, so this is Durango, but
uh-huh.
I'm actually pointing to my window, which you can't see. But right behind me is a like a canal and it has a trail here in Denver. And so I
Nice.
just get out there and I try to walk that every day just to clear my head, be in nature and yeah.
It really helps to get away from all the screens, all the, I mean, especially now with all the political stuff, I catch myself just doom scrolling and I just cut it off. I have
Yeah.
to clock out and sometimes I'll just take a little walk just to get it to clear the head.
Yeah, I
So
have
yeah.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you getting much work done on your book, my lady?
So I am super happy. I caught up on the modules.
What'd you do to your hand?
Oh, no, it's just the thumb thing that
Um,
I have.
okay.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm super excited. I started using, I don't know what you guys use to write. May I share my screen?
Sure.
Great. I just started using the Readsy editor. It's free.
Oh yeah.
And so I did our lesson, right? And
Uh-huh.
I put all of my stories into these categories. They may or may not stay.
Okay.
And then I just, listed them all.
Oh,
And I put them in chapters. And it's
oh,
like,
very good.
that's just the coolest thing that I have. Like, now it's just like, hey, there you go. There's your chapter. Go write it.
Right. Yeah, exactly, right?
So I have a story and a kind of a life lesson, if you will, or whatever, right?
Oh,
For
good.
each
Yeah.
one of these things.
Oh, that's excellent. Yeah.
Yeah. And I have
What's the
what,
tool here?
11 of
What's the
them?
what's the tool you're using?
It's called Readsy. I don't know if you can see
It's
that.
I can see it at the
readsy.com. Oh,
bottom.
that's
And is it
editor.readsy.com.
Yeah.
okay? And you just download it, or what's the
It's
process?
it's it does not have an app, which I was a little surprised, but it's all on the web. And you just go there and let's see, how do I
You need an account.
yeah.
Editor.ready.com.
It's
Yeah.
editor.readsy.com. But if you go to readsy.com and set up your account,
Yeah.
Yeah, then you can have books. I have three in progress, as you can see. Um, this is my working, this is my big one. But yeah, and like you can drag and drop your chapters and like it's real this is just an alphabetical order. It's
uh-huh,
not, I don't know what that order is yet, but like it's
right.
really cool. And then you can have like sections and introduction, and then you can actually export it in a format that'll work with like Kindle and stuff like that. I mean, I would
Very good.
go
Yeah,
professional anyway, but it's kind of cool. And
that's
it
very
saves it
cool.
all and
It's
yeah.
almost like Scrivener.
Yeah, I've heard Scrivener's good too, but I wanted something more web-based. Maybe it is web-based, but I don't know. This one's free.
I think it's
So
downloadable. I've got it, and honestly, I used it or tried to use it, but I'm an old dog, so I just go back to Word because
yeah, I played around with just Google Docs for a while, but you
uh,
can't you just like I want to be able to drag and drop, and I really like that
yeah,
part. So yeah.
yeah. I don't.
Well,
I'm not a Google Docs girl, but I am a Words girl. So,
nice.
yeah, but when I do my own formatting for my own books, I use Atticus, and when you drop
Okay.
the book in there, you get that whole row of chapters already. The table of contents is automated. Like, oh, this is really good. And
Nice. Oh, that's
yeah,
awesome.
it's real nice. But I'm dropping in an entire book because it's time to format. So
Right.
yeah, good.
Oh,
And you've got like 6,700 words already.
yeah, so I also ported some of my blog posts into some of the
Uh-huh.
stories already. So yeah, not everything, but most of what I've written, I've also blogged about already, which
Yeah,
is
which is
nice.
great because it's material you have and
Yeah, exactly.
it
So
makes your life easier.
yeah, my intention was just to get it all together, and I really like your like sources I have.
Uh-huh.
So that's all I have written, and then I have like oodles and oodles of journals. That
Good.
if I had to refer back to them, I could. I'm not sure that I need to, but it's nice to have the
It
option.
might be that, you've got most of the story and you go like, oh, I'm not quite sure about that. And then you can refer back. But most of the
Exactly.
stuff you carry with you and then you check out the smaller things. I had
Yeah. Yeah.
had a friend that she and her friend decided to um they were going to write a book a week, the two of them.
Whew.
And yeah, right. So they would get together on Friday for margaritas and they talk about the book they were going to do and they kind of outline the book. And then Tara would get like, she says, most of the stuff was already in my head. She said, but what we did was I went through my hard drive and just looked at all the stuff I had written. And I looked for stuff like, because, she's in marketing. So you have, free ebooks and stuff like that. So
Yep.
she had a bunch of free material, freebies that she would just pull out or blog posts. She'd been blogging for ages. And she said, very few of those books came out of nothing. I always had something to start them off at least.
Yep.
And she would actually sit on a Tuesday, I think it was, and she could type like 20 to 30,000 words in a day. Like it was a long
Oh my
day.
gosh.
And she would,
Wow.
and they're short nonfiction books, basically. And then she'd send it over to her friend to edit. And while the friend was editing, she was making the cover. And this was in the early days of, well, not so early, but like 2014, 2015, 2016 on KDP, where you could get a little bit more traction. And because they were
Right.
releasing so quickly, her books got more and more traction. So by the time they got up to about 10 books, they were doing $1,000 to $2,000 a month. And then when they
Dang.
stopped putting out the books, guess what? Nothing.
Well,
But they
yeah.
did 26 books like in 28 weeks or something,
That's
which is
amazing.
insane.
Yeah. I have a friend who, have you heard of some, the 10 Books Club or 20
20,
Books Club?
20 books to 50K.
Is it that one? Yeah.
Yeah.
She's part of that. She's a romance writer.
Oh, romance sells so well.
It does. Yeah, she just she keeps having squirrel moments where she gets just tired of one and then she starts working the next and then so she has, a dozen, but
Oh,
they're all
yeah.
unfinished.
Oh God, no. If she can write romance, she needs to finish them. She'll make a fortune. And especially if she can get them like releasing every 30 to 60 days.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. But yeah,
Even like
20 books to
novellas, you mean?
50K is, I'm sorry?
Even like novellas?
You know what? I think they would work and they might work better on Kindle Unlimited where you get the page reads.
Yeah,
Um,
she does that too.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I had, I got a free mystery because I joined the promos on BookFunnel to
Mm.
build my fiction list.
Hmm.
And so I was on a fiction mystery giveaway thing, and I got this book by a lady, and I got it because it was like a based in Florida. I'm like, okay, great. My character's based in Florida. Let me see what this lady's doing. And the thing was like 39 pages. Like I'm putting a full book there. It's not like a big book, but it's like 50,000 words. And so they're getting a full free book on my giveaway. And she's got this
Mm.
39-page thing where she just like she stops the book and it's like this is just the start of a story,
I
right?
know.
Right? So it's not even like there's no it's like she decides she has to go to Florida to get away from the bad guy. And so then I realized because I got a few more of her books on other giveaways. And what she has done is she has taken a novel and broken it up into like six novellas and sells them individually. And the worst part is she doesn't really break them at a good point. And so I'm reading the reviews. I'm like, how do people not realize what she's doing? They're like, oh my God, it ended on a cliffhanger. It's like, that was not a cliffhanger. That was incomplete.
Yeah, there is a difference.
There's a difference. And I was just like, I felt, boy, I don't know why my books aren't selling because my books are at least books. But
Right. Yeah, it's amazing what sells and doesn't sell, according to my friend. It's like,
yeah,
yes, slop will sell because it has like aliens in it or something. And she's just like, really?
yes, yes, have zombies or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have to admit I'm caving. My next book is about a ghost stuff.
Nice. Well, there
I'm
you
sorry,
go.
you want to read paranormal cozies? I can do a
Yeah.
paranormal cozy. It'll be fun.
Give the people what they want.
Yeah. So did you do a brain dump?
Yeah, so the brain dump was what resulted in those chapters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it's that's like my favorite thing to do in the world because I think it's procrastination for me.
All right. You don't have to actually write.
I'll just dump all this stuff out of my brain. But it really does help me get organized and I can take ideas and shift them around. And if you're doing it on computer, you can just drag and drop.
Yeah.
But as we were saying, I'm a boomer, so I tend to do paper and pen and and Tara, of course, would color code all the stuff. And I mean, I do have colored highlighters, and from time to time, I try to do the whole color coding thing, but just it's some people like it because it's pretty, and I get that because some people are really visual, and I encourage that. But for me, it's like, I don't need color. I'll just stick this over here.
Oh, I see. I did start by color coding
And
things
then what
and
did you say? What did the voice in your head say?
um well, I ended up just doing a letter for a different,
I've done that. Yeah,
like P for people, C for cultivating skills, whatever.
yeah. That's I ended up doing that on a couple of things. So yeah, Barb, you're a visual, aren't you? Are you more artistic?
I'm not artistic, but I am visual. I can't
Yeah,
draw
they're not the
anything.
same thing.
Two different things,
Don't
huh?
don't count on me to even have it to scale. This would be this big. This would be this big. No, I mean, I like art. I like museums, and we've got a beautiful one right at the base of the Space Needle here called Chihuly. I don't know if you know about Chihuly.
Oh, we
Ooh,
all know
yeah.
Chihuly, yeah. You know
Yeah,
Chihuly,
his
right, Jen?
his main exhibit is right here, and I'm
Yeah,
a member, so I go over there quite a
That's
bit.
the glass one, right?
right,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, we have one here in Denver at the Botanic Gardens. It's gorgeous.
yeah, yeah.
And there's one in
In
St.
this
Pete also, yeah.
Cool.
in this display, they kind of cast the net of all the places that he's at in 60
Uh-huh.
countries and
Mm,
growing, I guess.
cool.
His work is real. Did he do the stuff in Vegas too? I think he did.
He did the Bellagio ceiling.
The Bellagio, yeah.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
his
nice
exhibit
stuff.
here is fabulous, really.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
So there are people who see more shades than other people. Are you, do you see more shades? Like
Give me more examples.
if I hold this up, you might say light blue. Somebody might say a different shade. What is it to
Like
you?
turquoise or like
They might say turquoise. I would have said turquoise.
Yeah, turquoise.
Okay, good. None of us see color.
what is it really?
I don't know. I see. I would say like turquoise or light metallic blue, or I don't know. And then all my life, I thought what was turquoise people call teal, and I was like, oh, I thought that was turquoise. So I don't know.
I don't
Um,
know the difference either.
Teal, the new name of turquoise.
Right. Could have fooled me if not.
teal.
We used to say turquoise a million years ago, and now everybody says teal.
Oh, that's so funny. No, but it's like I lived with Marianne for a year, and my cousin Paula
Together
is the
for a
same
year.
way. Yeah,
You
she's same. Yeah, we were housemates for a year.
on the Olympic Peninsula or
No, she
where?
came to Florida.
Okay. When she
That's
left Oregon?
when she left Whidbey Island, Seattle area.
Okay, she was on the peninsula, then came to Florida.
Then
Okay,
she came
gotcha.
to Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. She said she put on Facebook, my landlords are selling. I've got to leave the place, and I think they gave her like 60 days or 30 days, and she'd been there for 10
That's
years because they
what?
decided they wanted to move into the house. So, so she like sold and gave away so much stuff. And she
Oh.
said, I'm moving to Florida. Who wants me? And actually, she said, I'm moving to the East Coast. Who wants me? And and you would not believe, like people were just like competing. It's like, we have a guest house. We have this. We have that. They're competing for. Like, I got a spare room. I can move the boxes. She's
Yeah.
like, winner.
So
So, but
what was
she
your
does.
what did you think about living with her for a year? I guess you guys might have been
Oh, bless
totally
her heart.
aligned in energy
She
class.
was so she's so amazing. And I hadn't really lived with anybody for a while, and I usually live alone. So I was not the best person to move in with. And she was so patient with me. Like, she says, I'm going to be going away this weekend. I'm like, oh shit, now I've done it. Um, she had a lot of the first couple of months, she went away a little bit, but she was adjusting to living with
Funny.
somebody else too. But she's like really good at color. So like when she does anything, it's very
Yeah.
prettily done. I think we talked about this before when she sends out, if somebody orders her books and she packs them up and she's got special tissue paper and she's dropping in special bookmarks and little artsy things. And
So
I mean,
cute.
you don't just get a book in the mail, which for me it's like, oh look, it's in a bubble wrap mailer, right? Oh, can you
Right.
hold it up to your camera? Yeah,
Diane Rodmacher.
yeah. So that's like
It's her,
Gorgeous.
right? And then
right.
she
Yeah.
develops this, and here's our picture.
Oh, nice, nice.
Oh, I almost lived with her because we were right next door on condo walls, right?
Uh-huh. Right.
And yeah, she was fascinating. Loved it.
Yeah. Yeah. And she's, as she says, she's not nice, she's kind, but compared to
I
me,
love it.
yeah. And it's very intentional. I mean, she leads with kindness. I mean, it's a very intentional thing. And I'm like the worst person in the world. And I'm like, I kind of lead with a vindictiveness. So like it was an interesting, it was an interesting combination. And I think she was really good for me. I
Does she
think
have
she
a
made me,
Substack?
I'm sorry?
Is she a writer? Does she have a Substack?
Yeah, or actually she does have a Substack. She's a writer, poet. Have you ever heard that
Speaker.
saying, courage doesn't always roar? It's that quiet voice at the end of the day that says, I'll try again tomorrow. No,
Oh.
you're so young. But yeah, let me see if I can find her Substack. I'll put it.
Style is no capital letters.
Yeah,
She writes in all lowercase.
Oh,
usually, yeah.
Usually, yeah,
Yeah.
usually.
Yeah. Okay, let me stick this in the chat.
She's just super creative. I
She's,
don't want to
yeah.
lose the train of thought you had there, Barb, in terms of colors, shades, etc.
Yeah, because she just sees more color and my cousin does the same thing. They're just people who see more shades. And it's a genetic thing too. A lot of the Japanese are very attuned to the gradations, to the variations in shade, which is why Fujifilm was so well regarded. It was a Japanese film that really brought out all the various colors. And so if you don't see all those shades, you don't realize how beautiful Fujifilm is, right? Like I'm looking at behind Jen is that beautiful blue sky, and I'm seeing some variations, but people who see more shades would say there's 30 different shades of blue in there, and probably I know there's probably 30 shades of blue in there because there's gradations, but I could not tell you what they are, and I could not point where the changes are. I mean, like that's darker there, but it's lighter over there because of some cloud. But people who have that can look at something, and that's why they can pick out clothing and say, "Oh, this will go with this." And you're like, how did you know that would match up? And then they shrug, but it's such a natural thing for them. And
yeah.
that's amazing to me. And whereas I just go like blue, I like blue. I'm like a Neanderthal.
Behind all that, what is the philosophy? If you can see more shades, that
I
means you have more creativity. Where does this
I
go?
think I think it helps. I don't know if it makes more creativity, but I think it um, makes your creativity better. Like it's like if you had access to 8 Crayola crayons and you're artistic, you can do a certain amount. You can do a Crayola crayon drawing. But if you've got the 64 pack, it can be a more involved, more depth type of crayon painting.
Okay.
Yeah.
And more
So
nuanced, I would
it's
guess,
more,
right?
that's the word I'm looking for. Thank you, Jen. It's more nuanced. And so for people that can see more shades and they're doing artwork, it's a more nuanced piece, I think. I don't know because I don't see the shades.
Right.
But even like when she dealt with food, the food, like I'll throw the food on the plate and I'm happy. But no, hers is like really pretty.
Oh.
Like she doesn't just put a plate of food in front of you, it looks pretty. So she's like, yeah, it's all about presentation. But it's just, and to me, that's the way she lives her life. Her life
Yeah.
is such, and it goes back to, I think, to what Whitney was saying about creating your own framework for life, really. And she's created a framework where She leads with kindness and she expects kindness back. And sometimes she doesn't get it and she recognizes that. She wants to have beauty in her life. She wants to have color in her life. So she does that. And even in her writing, she wants to explore certain things and to think about things. And she does that. And so many of us just don't stop to think. And I think what Whitney was saying again, which is you're in constant overwhelm with all the input and you're running from thing to thing to thing, that you're not really living your own life. You're living a life that's really been programmed for you because you're hustling and trying to get there. And it's not that you want to be programmed, it's that you're just so busy on that hamster wheel trying to keep up. And for Em, she's like, okay, let's take a breath. Let's take a
That's
breath.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely check this out.
Yeah, she's got good stuff and she makes great deviled eggs.
Presented very well, I'm sure.
She did a beautiful job presenting them.
Well, because my big thing, so Barb, you don't know me yet, but my big thing is also that like I hate being called nice, but I love being called
Yeah.
kind or
Yes.
determined or whatever, right? So
Mhm.
I'll choose kind any day over nice or sweet, all right?